Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Mollusk here, and it's rematch time, Collodi versus Perdita. Let's see if I can put my fears of this master to bed. For terrain, anything that looks like a wall is a wall, the forests are forests, these big blocks of rubble are severe terrain. Importantly, this piece of terrain is height 4. My crew consists of a Waldgeist, a Marionette, a Coryphy, the Brutal Effigy, Collodi, with Bag of Props, Wings of Darkness and Strum the Threads. You can see them a bit better here, the Widow Weaver, the Doppelganger, a Beckoner and another Marionette. My plan is to have this Marionette go fast and run up and claim this marker in the first turn, then the Waldgeist will go up here and bubble out its engagement range. We'll take the second squatter marker in the second turn and score points from then on, as the Waldgeist holds them down. It's going to be tough keeping it alive with Perdita and the Ostringers, but with the combination of armour and cover, that's about the best I can do. To increase its survivability, the Coryphy is going to rock around the side, staying well away from Perdita. I wanted it in its backfield turn 2, gobbling down Ostringers, and at least forcing Perdita to take her eye off the centre for just a moment. Not really sure what I was doing with the rest of the crew, but as I was deploying first I wanted to try to keep them central, and able to reposition early on, and trying desperately to make the most of cover. I want to set up the Widow Weaver's Willpowered Death Zone around here, so I can sit back behind the walls and blast them with Slow and Paralyze. I'm going to try to suicide this Marionette at Perdita and try to give her the message and then turn the scrap market into an effigy. Hiddlefon swaggers up with a Witchling Stalker, an Ostringer, Abuela Ortego, Francisco Ortego with Wade In, of course, the Enslaved Nephilim, Perdita Ortego, with Trick Shooting and Aura Ancestral. Hidden behind the tree is another Ostringer, and up here in the tower is Nino Ortega. And for the first turn or so I thought this was the Ostringer because he had a bird on him. And I'm telling you right now guys, it's important to know your Ninos from your bird chuckers. So now I can see my opponent's models. The Beckoner's job is going to be to beckon anything, hopefully Francisco, that comes up the front, pull it into my Willpowered Dead Zone and blast it with everything. Whilst doing that she'll push over here and then pull the bird off the roof, where hopefully something will have the time to take it down. Looking at the schemes and from my opponent's reaction to them, I'm dead certain he's got Assassination and Bodyguard, probably on Francisco or Abuela. So let's get this started. We've got an average hand for turn 1. Nino focuses on the Beckoner and roughs her up. Not my favourite way to start the game, but with so much ignores cover in Hiddlefon's crew I'm just going to have to grit my teeth and get used to it. So Witchling Stalker's gone and that's really annoying because I wanted my Coryphy to dance through that gap. My Marionette's gone and try to make up for a deployment mistake by dragging along the Coryphy this way. Abuela's activated, made the Witchling Stalker family and then pushed up to the forest. And I make a really dumb mistake which against this guy I can't afford to do. It's a reflex action, something comes too close and I try to snag it. The Beckoner walks out, trying to lure Abuela, forgetting that the forest blocks line of sight to the old lady because she's not in it. So instead I beckon the Doppelganger, which goes up, pushes my Beckoner into a place where she can get line of sight on Abuela, which of course she thwarts scornfully thanks to Aura Ancestral. So now my Beckoner is a sitting duck for no gain whatsoever, and I really need her for pulling this guy off the building, pulling people off of markers, potentially making things insignificant with that brilliance thing, and all the other good stuff she does. So when Francisco moves out to give Perdita a good long run up, for when she shoves her cock up his arse, relocates, I activate the Effigy, who accomplishes Collodi, who personal puppets the Marionette, moves the Coryphy, moves up to here, and my wheels the Beckoner off over here a tad. My thinking is to try to make the Doppelganger the prime target, as her manipulative at least gives her some form of defence, and if she dies at least I've still got the abilities I take her along to copy. An Ostringer runs out of hiding, and it looks like the Nephilim's pushed Perdita, and I'm trying to out-activate my opponent to make sure the Coryphy can move into position and be safe from Perdita into the next turn. So I go with this Marionette, I go fast, I drag along the Waldgeist a bit further forward, double walk to the squatter counter and flip it. However, Hiddlefon ever so delicately informs me that actually I can't perform interact actions because I'm in line of sight of this fucker, who's sitting in position about halfway to the moon and can see everything on the table, and because I'm simultaneously within 8 inches of his family members, which happen to comprise virtually his entire crew. So I've got a strategy that requires interacting. Deliver a message which requires interacting, and Cursed Object which requires interacting. There's nowhere on the entire board I can be out of this guy's line of sight, and he's about 20 inches away from my nearest model, up 4 inches of severe terrain. I'm a bit dumbfounded, to be honest, so I just used my last action to move over to here and at least grab some cover. It would have been more sensible to go over here to put a scrap marker within decent reach, but yeah, I was a little shocked, to be honest, and not quite thinking clearly. At least the marionette manages to survive the bird that hit me in the face shortly after. Wildgeist makes his move anyway, puts up his forest, whatever it's worth. Perdita relocates, and I'm rudely reminded that she ignores willpower jewels. The doppelganger's manipulative counts for squat, and so she dies. Things are not going well, boys and girls. So it's time to get desperate. The Widow Weaver just double walks up into position, drops her web marker, and I'm just going to have to hope I get lucky and paralyse something next turn. She gets one of her eyes picked out by a bird for her troubles. And finally the Coryphée makes its move. Not that I'm really expecting it to mean much now. But for turn 2, that's the kind of hand I'm going to need if I'm going to get out of this mess. And thank the anthropomorphised expression of mankind's ignorance, I get the initiative. The brutal effigy goes, makes Collodi fear not the sword, walks up to here and focuses. Probably should have double walked. My accomplice Collodi, you won't be surprised to learn that he strums his own threads. He moves his personal puppet up to here, and then with the additional movement the Widow Weaver grants him, double walks over the wall with his flight, into range of Nino, who draws a queen for his defence because my opponent can't stop flipping those character cards. I cheat in the red joker and get the idle hands trigger, and thanks to Collodi's positive to damage I'm on a straight flip, so I cheat in a severe for 4 damage. Okay, so I've sat my master squarely in front of a Perdita crew in an assassination game. Call me an optimist, I think I can get away with it. The main thing is, Nino's not going to survive this turn, because I'm going to make him jump off the building and take 2 damage and die. How do you like them apples? I realise now that the my bidding trigger would have been the better one to go with, as I could just kill him now. But you know how things are when your IQ is about 3. So Francisco goes and grabs the squatter marker. He then companions Perdita, and then Hiddlefon makes his only mistake of the game as far as I can tell. Thinking Perdita is better in combat than shooting, he charges Collodi. I take 3 damage after stoning and run away home. But just look at this cool play. He uses her last action to flip the squatter marker. Confident he can finish Collodi at his leisure, no doubt. The Coryphée charges the Witchling, but I can't kill it. Even in the best case scenario, I'm taking 2 damage from this, which is why these things are an awful matchup for Coryphée, but at least his Ostringer would be taking damage as well. The Ostringer then kills my marionette and puts a wound on my Coryphée. The Widow Weaver goes, and this is too early. I need to wait for his control hand to burn down before trying something like this. I throw down another web marker and try twice to seize prey, but fail both times. Just a little bit of luck is all I ask. The Witchling attacks the Coryphée but can't kill it, and Collodi does his Houdini impression. The Beckoner lures him over the wall, and because it's a walk action, I can fly. But she's not that kind of girl, so she pushes up to here, beckons the brutal effigy close to Collodi, back into range, and pushes again to get her back into the fight. The Ostringers throw birds at the Coryphée, but still can't bring it down. The Wildgeist moves to block off the 2 squat markers and just throws its forests down for what they're worth. And the marionette charges Perdita, doing nothing, but it gets her into position for a deliver the message next turn, when Nino will be dead. However, Hiddlefon has worked out what I'm trying to do, and the bastard enslaved pushes him down to a safe altitude. I hate you so much, Nephilim! But at least some of my guys are out of sight now and can start getting work done. When Nino activates, the magical strings which bind his limbs force him to take aim at his saviour and shoot it in the head, bringing it to the brink of death. But fate is a cruel bitch, and just won't let me kill it. Nevertheless, this was definitely my favourite part of the game. Okay, make or break. I've got the hand to do this. I flip a 4 for the initiative, but Hiddlefon flips the black joker. I activate Brutal, he gives Collodi fear not the sword, he walks, he focuses. He accomplices Collodi, who thanks to the Widow Weaver, jumps over the wall into contact with the squat marker, sorry. I focus shot and take down Nino with extreme prejudice. Righteously flip my first squat marker, and then because I went fast, I target Perdita and hit her for a slow. Finally, because I just have to use every action I can, I push him 3 inches away up here with creep, just so that I'm in more range to do something next turn maybe? But that was just borderline retarded. With the value of hindsight, it may have been a better idea not to activate Brutal, but to activate Collodi, go fast, jump the wall, kill Nino, flip the marker, slow Perdita, and then accomplice the marionette to deliver the message to Perdita. But that was too much for my tiny brain at the time. But Francisco goes, he wades in or whatever it is, pushing Perdita out of range and getting into combat with both Collodi and my marionette. He kills the marionette, who remembers to retract and puts a personal puppet onto Beckoner. He hits Collodi, moving the Beckoner, and then I can't quite work out what's happened here, because he's killed Collodi. I think he may have flurried, and I think we forgot that you can only flurry against a single target. Never mind, it was going to happen anyway. It wouldn't have been possible for me to soulstone the damage away, because Francisco hits like a rhino, and with 2 Ostringers and a Buella left to go, Collodi's dead. So I let my personal puppet, the Beckoner, live, because at least she's got some chance of scoring me points this turn. The Beckoner pulls Francisco close and gives him a cursed object. The dirty little enslaved fucker pushes himself up to here, and then pushes Francisco away from the death markers. Seriously, I thought that thing was out of the game, and it's such a pain in the butt still. The wild geist moves up, flips the other squatter marker, and germinates its trees so that when the Coryphe inevitably dies, it will slow the Witchling Stalker up. And that's exactly what happens. The Widow Weaver can't make anybody fail a horror test, unfortunately. The slow Perdita just moves and flips my scheme marker, and Abuela and the Ostringers open up on my surviving guys, and fortunately don't kill anyone. Mostly thanks to the Widow Weaver's soulstoning, I think. The game is over, but I just don't know how to quit, and we push on anyway. Perdita and Francisco double team my Widow Weaver, bringing her down, but the Beckoner survived. The Beckoner beckons Perdita and gives her a cursed object. Abuela flips this strategy marker as squatter marker because there's something to be said for completeness. Because it's pretty much the only thing it can do, the Brutal Effigy moves and gives Perdita another cursed object. Yeah, I could have shot at Perdita or Francisco, but at a negative flip for a cover with a shooting 4, no one gives a shit. And we're past the point where slow is going to help anything. Something puts Perdita over here, and I walk at her with the tree, because fuck it, I've got to try to deliver that message. Abuela was just a gnat testicle out of my 4-inch range, by the way, which is why she was able to flip that marker. The Witchling moves in to claim the final squat marker, and something pushes Perdita out of my tree's range. If I'd remembered to move the forests, she would have still been in. Cannot afford to be making those mistakes. However, this turn, Perdita didn't remove the cursed object. Perhaps out of pity, I don't know, but I'm going to take it. And I scored that point I've been desperately chasing all game. Last turn, yeah, that's not going to help anybody. I lose the initiative, Doppelganger goes down, but the Brutal survives long enough to deliver Francisco a cursed object. It takes a surprising amount of firepower to bring down my plucky effigy, but they get him in the end. And the Ostringer delivers orders for Francisco to remove his cursed object. So there we go guys, tabled in the last turn, 1 whole point to my name to Hiddelfon's 7. Because wouldn't you know, he chose Nino as the bodyguard. By far the hardest game I've played yet, Mr. Hiddelfon is a very good player, and just completely shut me down this game. I'm not really sure what I could have done to win, but doing this battle report has made me realise that I actually had a lot of opportunities to do better, I just threw them away. This game was still an absolute ton of fun to play. My opponent's a fantastic guy, and we had a good chat afterwards. So thanks man if you're watching this. Perdita is definitely my most feared master, more so even than Sonia, and I'm aware she might have a bit of a reputation as being an easy or overpowered master. But I really think any master in this game, when they stuff you, they're gonna look overpowered and easy to play. In this game, my opponent simply outclassed me. He used the tools he had in a way that countered mine, and he used them well. So don't let anyone tell you that you're playing an easy master. The likelihood is you've just meshed with yours better than they have, and they're butthurt over it. But yeah, great game. It stings, but I can't wait to get back on the table and give Perdita another crack. Hope that was entertaining, and take care.